We can start and they can join.
Perfect.
So I would like to thank you to join us in this event. I am so glad. I hope everything is going really well.
It is. It is. Yes. No, thank you for inviting me. Actually, it's very exciting, and I love, meeting with different potential students or parents, and would definitely welcome any questions from anyone. And yes, actually, enrollments are going very, very positively for this summer. So I think the world is definitely ready to come out of the pandemic and into residential learning.
Yeah, exactly. And so what do you think about the new season? So we are very hopeful, and after all the years, we can say we are back and parents are coming back and students are back as well. It's so exciting, isn't it?
It's really exciting. And do you know what? I wouldn't even say we're just hopeful. I think the evidence now, we're at the end of February and we actually have some courses that have sold out and other courses which we know guaranteed are going to sell out. So the feedback that we've had from, nearly every market in the world is that they are more than ready to come back to face-to-face learning, and the enrollments are definitely showing that. So it's very exciting.
Wow, it's wonderful. So you should be ready to book.
Yes, yeah, I would. Yeah, genuinely. I emailed you just before this meeting to say we have had one course that has totally sold out, because we are a niche product. We're not a volume-based business, and there are only so many tutors that we will, I suppose, recruit to teach our students. So it is a limited course.
It is nice, wonderful. So I have got questions about the camps, and I know that they're becoming so popular, the academic camps.
Mhm.
And why should the students attend the academic camps? What do you think about that?
I think if we looked at the fact that we are an academic summer program, so we are finding a trend, and again, it is from around the world, that more students are interested in subject-based learning as opposed to maybe EFL learning. I think language levels have improved over, say, if we look back in the last 10 years. And I would definitely say that every agent who I speak to, there's more and more interest in subject-based learning and basically preparing students, preparing children for university life, really.
Yeah. So do you think that they're popular because of the new approach of university application with no SAT and in a holistic way?
Yeah, I also think, looking at certain markets, for example, if we take the US, I know there's been a huge increase in American students who are looking to study for higher education in the UK. And also just to prepare themselves, as you say, personally, it's yes, we prepare them academically. They leave us with a much stronger confidence in the subject that they've been studying, and also their approach to university life, and even approach to how they apply to university, because we do include workshops to cover that on their application process, etc.
Perfect. And what do you change in students' life?
We do definitely have an effect on students' lives and their academic pathway. I've spoken to students who actually changed their academic pathway because of our programs. For example, if I use this student as an exact example, he did our online research program, which I'm going to cover in my presentation. And he found a new love for a slightly new subject. He changed his degree and he's now studying biology at UCL, which is one of the top universities. So we do definitely have, that positive effect on, how students approach university and just getting, a better understanding for their academic journey, really.
Perfect. Yeah, as an education consultant, I know that it really powers the awareness of the students while they are writing their personal essays, which is very important part of the application. And to be honest, I have been working with Cambridge Immerse for a long time, and I really love the feedbacks from parents and students as well. And would you like to talk about your programs and the durations and where they are? So we would like to know about it.
Sure. Well, what I'll do is I'll share my screen and I'll run through, you know, a couple of our a couple of our programs. This isn't actually the full extent of our programs, but obviously, you know, we only have a certain amount of time this evening. But as always, you know, we would definitely welcome any questions. Okay. Here we go. Perfect. Lovely. So just checking, actually, you can see my screen.
I can see, definitely.
Perfect. So just a quick hello to everyone, wherever you're joining us from. Just to clarify, so my name is Carla Jones. I'm based in the UK, and I represent Immerse Education. So as you know, in case it wasn't clear, so we provide unique academic summer experiences. We have both residential programs and online programs. So what I'll do this evening, or I say this evening, whatever time zone you're joining us from, I'll talk a little bit about who Immerse are, you know, what we stand for, and our goals, really. And then we'll go through a couple of the academic programs. So we have Academic Insights, which is, you know, our core program, really, and where we started. And then we have the Oxbridge online research program. It's a very special program. It's very different, and it's become incredibly popular for us. I'll then talk a little bit about combination programs, as in, you know, putting two programs together, because there are a lot of benefits for students, and we are seeing a bit of a trend for that. And then, of course, basically the Immerse alumni, and yeah, joining the Immerse alumni family. So there are a few consistencies with Immerse. So as I said, you know, we offer exceptional programs in preparation for students attending college or university. So the consistencies definitely start with the quality. We are a very high quality provider in everything that we do. For example, we do have arguably, you know, the top academic faculty in the UK. What I mean by this is, say you enrolled your child onto a residential program with us or an online program, it doesn't matter. They will always be taught by a current Oxford or Cambridge tutor. So year round, those tutors are teaching undergrads at these two universities. We will always, you know, even as we continue to grow, we will always go on the trend of prestigious locations. This doesn't just mean the cities that we're operating from. This means the University of Cambridge and the University of Oxford. So, you know, two of the top universities in the world. You know, what you asked, your last question, Burçin, about, you know, how we change students' lives. Well, definitely, you know, broadening students' horizons, not just in terms of travel, but we're very much about encouraging and bringing children or students out of their comfort zone. So this might be a case of independence-wise. You know, we are here to give the students, you know, a taste of their university life, but very much in terms of their academic comfort zone. You know, we do try and push the students with, you know, the academic projects that they carry out. Who are our students and what are their outcomes? So obviously our students are the type of students who are driven to you know, continue in their academic pathway, and definitely who, you know, obviously would like to study abroad for higher education. If we talk about nationality, the top nationality is actually British students. You know, we do have a lot of students from UK schools, and then I would say the US, Brazilian, and then, to be honest, it's a very lovely mix from all around the world. We even get students from New Zealand, for example, we had one the other day, but it's a very much, you would never turn up to one of our programs and the class be full of one nationality. And of course, the outcomes, as I've said, you know, they should be leaving us in a stronger, more confident position in, you know, the subject that they're studying, and also their approach to university life and university application. So we'll talk about academic insights. As I said, you know, this is our core program, and this is, you know, where we started. So this is ultimately an Oxford and Cambridge University experience. So this is for students both, we have two age ranges basically. So students aged 13 to 15 years and the students aged 16 to 18 years. Just to clarify, you know, if you did have a younger child of 13, they simply wouldn't be put in a classroom with a 17 or 18-year-old. We are aware that they need to be taught slightly, you know, differently and separately. Obviously, these are carried out at Oxford and Cambridge University. If it's not clear, then yes, they do sleep and stay, you know, accommodation-wise at these campuses, and they learn here as well. The dates are always going to be July and August. So this runs from the 3rd of July, and then we have courses starting every week until mid-August. Maximum class size of 10. This is something that we never waver on. You know, this is something that this and the tutors being Oxbridge tutors is something that we never change. Even if we had, you know, 11 enrollments to history, for example, we would never put them all in one class. We would separate them. The point is that, you know, the students, your children, are getting the maximum, you know, time out of the classroom and from their tutors. They receive 45 hours of tuition over 2 weeks. As I've said, the teaching is from Oxford and Cambridge academics, and we very much combine theory with practical learning. It's very much skills-based, project-based learning. So you'll see on the right-hand side all of the subjects that, you know, we offer. We do have a very extensive offering of subjects. You know, some of the classics like medicine, law, engineering, they're always going to be the most popular. But we do have, as you can see, some more modern subjects. So the likes of robotics, sustainability. Computer science isn't so new, you know, it's becoming very, very popular. And we even have something a bit more creative, film studies, which has been, you know, has been more popular than I initially considered. So that's quite exciting. Yes, it is. So this gives you an example of the timetable. So just to explain, as I said, so normally the morning sessions would be theory-based and the afternoon sessions would be practical based. So to give you a very exact example, if it was medicine, for example, in the morning the student might be doing theory on a certain organ, and in the afternoon we do indeed get the students involved in dissecting, for example. Just a couple of things to mention about time outside of the classroom. In a normal summer school, there will always be, you know, lots of activities. And of course, we do have activities when the students aren't in class. But you will notice with us, we do try, because there's a type of program that we do try and make sure the students' activities are still either academic or at least, you know, very beneficial. So, for example, if I highlight a couple here, so here we have on the Monday evening, so the fireside chat with a mentor. Now, a mentor is a current Oxford or Cambridge undergrad. And what we do when the students arrive, every 10 students is given one mentor. So the reason why we call them a mentor is because they are clearly doing an exact academic pathway that our students would aspire to do. They're at either Oxford or Cambridge, and they might even be doing the degree that your child is, you know, would love to be doing themselves in a few years' time. So over the 2 weeks, that is a very lovely sort of friendship that is built. And as you can imagine, our students have thousands of questions for the mentors.
Yeah, actually, this is an ultimate luxury, as I see. And so now I can understand why students are going this camp again and again and again.
It's a really, it's only a small part of what we do, but I think it's a really important part because, you know, the mentors they go with them on the activities, they're there for guidance, they're there for, you know, just small things like homesickness as well. It's a tiny but actually really significant part of their program, and I love it. So that's, you know, we class that as an activity, but as you can imagine, the students get a lot more out of that than they would, say, for example, karaoke or a disco. The other more, you know, not necessarily academic, but definitely beneficial activity is we have a guest speaker. We actually have 3 within 2 weeks. And the guest speaker, if you haven't guessed, is someone that will be very inspirational, very motivating for the students. They might not necessarily be motivating on an academic perspective, but for example, one of our guest speakers is a prior Olympic athlete, for example. So they're there to, you know, sort of encourage the students and to inspire them. Then we do have, you know, again, this thing, this part here titled Traditional Oxbridge Formal Dinner. This is another activity, but although it's not academic, it's definitely a lot more grown up and something that the students really look back on fondly. All the formal dinner is where the students, you know, it's a chance for them to dress up, and we take them to an age-old or a centuries-old tradition in one of the dining halls. As you can see here, this is an exact picture of a traditional dinner. Now, this particular dining hall, for example, doesn't actually have electricity. It's probably about, I think it's about 600 years old. And so the students arrive and it's lovely and light outside coming in from the ceiling. And then as it gets darker and darker, the servers come in and light candles. So by the end of the evening, the students are socializing and, you know, dining by candlelight. So again, this is just a small part of what we do, but it's there to instill the fact that the students they're growing up, they're going through this transition period, and we want to give them a bit more grown up activities. So that's, you know, that's academic insights. So just to clarify, you know, the special points really, as we said, you know, the classroom-based theory and practical workshops, all students do receive a full evaluation from the tutor after the stay. So this is not automated. This is something that is specific to the student. So, you know, the tutor will be speaking about your child, not about, it won't be automated or anything like that. As we know, all teaching is from Oxford and Cambridge academics. The development of the personal project is, again, just a small part, but really important. So say if you had a child who had enrolled in medicine, for example, we would ask them, you know, please consider what you would like your personal project to be. And this would be something a bit more focused than just medicine. It might be neuroscience, it might be a certain part of medicine that they're particularly interested in. And then throughout their 2 weeks, they would carry out this personal project alongside their classes. So it's not the main part of their program at all. It's just something that that happens throughout alongside their classes. They receive 2 one-to-one sessions with their tutor to make sure that they're on track, that they receive feedback, etc. And then at the end of their program, they deliver it back to their classmates via presentation format. We do try and encourage the students to go back to their own country and you know, present to their own classmates. This isn't always easy to track, but you know, I've spoken to students who absolutely love that idea. Maybe more of the extrovert students love that idea, but yeah, we would encourage it. So as we said, maximum class size of 10. They receive 3 formal dinners. We've explained about the mentor families, and they receive a variety of inspiring guest speakers. So that's academic insights. You know, we can ask, actually, if I move on to the research, and then at the end, if there's any question, I would really, you know, welcome questions at the end. So the Oxbridge online research programme is something very special and very different, obviously. So firstly, you'll see that it is online. I do have to make a disclaimer or a statement. It's not, we didn't create this because of the pandemic. This isn't online instead of being residential. This is online because that's the way this program should be developed or delivered. And you'll see that when I explain a bit more. So this is a bespoke program. A bespoke program that's got one-to-one tutoring, of course, from an Oxford or Cambridge tutor. And during this research program, they will develop really key higher ed research project skills. So this program is for students aged 15 and over. It is available year round because it's online and it's one-to-one tutoring. We can run this whenever it's suitable for the student, very flexible on start dates. And traditionally, the student would choose 10 one-hour sessions, and they will choose it to be over 2 weeks. So 1 hour every weekday. However, if your child has got a very busy period at school, or maybe they don't, maybe it's their school break, then we could condense that, we could stretch it out, we could do 20 hours, for example. It's bespoke. So that they then receive one-to-one tuition from the personal tutor, where they, as I said, they develop key research project skills, and the end result is a 3,000 word research essay. So what do they research? They research the exact topic that they are particularly interested in. So, for example, if they chose philosophy, for example, we would ask them to be as specific as possible. Maybe they choose a certain philosopher, maybe they choose a certain theory of philosophy. Same goes for international relations. Maybe they choose a certain conflict that's happened in the world. Not all students know what topic they want to research, only about 25%. So students can be guided by the tutors, not a problem. So just to clarify how this program works. So the student enrolls, and then they set the time and date they're available. They then complete a pre-course academic background form. This isn't a test. We just need to know, how much the student knows about this topic already. And then we match them with our very, very extensive and very impressive immersive faculty connections. Then the tutor basically creates a bespoke program. So what are the key outcomes for the participants? Some of the key outcomes have actually been, I don't know if surprising is the right word, but unexpected. So yes, they receive an Oxbridge style tuition remotely. They do develop a really high quality piece of work. So the 3,000 word essay doesn't have to be exactly 3,000, by the way. Sometimes it is more. They do experience obviously university style teaching methods, but they develop really crucial areas of success for higher ed. So this is obviously things like independent study, the research skills themselves, listing the resources. But in case it wasn't clear, the students don't obviously save these skills that they've learned for higher ed. They obviously go back to their class, wherever that might be, and they put these skills into practice. So what has been interesting is a lot of the feedback that we've had is that the students, because they've gained more confidence and they've gained these additional skills, their grades on that subject actually improve when they go back to school, which is fabulous. So as I said, about 25% of students have a research project in mind. Otherwise, they can be led. And when I'm talking about, specifics, I had a girl recently who chose cosmetic science. I have another student who's chose dentistry. So we really can be, broad in the topics. We have hundreds of case studies for this research program because it's not an off-the-shelf program. We develop this ourselves. So sometimes students or parents, it's not 100% clear on what the students will be doing or what they'll get out of it. So for example, if anyone listening or watching, if one of your children are interested in a psychology case study, then I can share this particular one with you, not a problem. Or if it was biology or law, etc., not a problem.
Really, it's
Yeah, I love this program. So that's, the research program. So as we've seen, they develop university style research project. They gain some, fantastic skills essential for higher ed. They do receive so subject specific advice to enhance grades. If you think about it, they've got the undivided attention of an absolute expert in their field. So of course they're going to get, additional advice. They very much improve their confidence, and they're obviously learning from a passionate, world-leading academic. And of course, they receive their detailed feedback and evaluation. The only other thing I was going to say is just to highlight, well, first of all, our tutors themselves. So these are just a couple of examples of our tutors. And really, the prerequisites for our tutors are they must have experience teaching to at least undergrad level at Oxford or Cambridge, and they need to be able to change their approach, change their methodology based on, maybe a student with immersed, obviously English isn't their native language, that they might be a younger student. So yes. The combination programs, this has been more and more popular as the weeks have gone on, and now we're getting into a busier enrolment time. So there are definite benefits of participating in 2 different programs. For example, maybe 4 weeks of academic insights rather than 2 weeks. So maybe doing 2 weeks in economics, 2 weeks in international relations, or alternatively, I do have students who have done 2 weeks academic insights in medicine. Maybe they understand a bit more about the different areas of medicine, and then they follow by a research program in neuroscience. But otherwise, I would welcome any questions. And also, for our alumni, we do receive some lovely feedback from students, and we receive regular updates from students and our tutors on students who have been accepted into Oxford and Cambridge. We've had quite a few over the last couple of weeks, actually, which is lovely. But for example, this lovely girl here, so her name is Ore. She did international relations with us. She then got accepted into Cambridge. She became a mentor. So she came back to us and became a mentor. And since then, she's published a book and has given a TED talk. And she's now a special advisor to the Nigerian president.
Wow, great community, actually. Wonderful.
It is a lovely community.
Wonderful. So, so we put your academic camps to our UK part, and so people can find when they're looking for an academic camp, and we put engineering, AI and chemistry, medicine. So I believe that they are going to enter the website and find the courses on bestparents.com. And actually, I have got some questions.
Yeah.
And I believe that some parents are going to ask some questions too. And my question is about that food, and accommodation. So as consultants always,
yes,
the first question coming from parent side, that everything looks perfect, where they're going to sleep and where they're going to eat and what they're going to eat is a huge question. So can you inform us about these topics as well?
Yeah, sure. So where they stay, so they stay in the traditional Oxford and Cambridge colleges. So these are, just to clarify, they're single rooms. You will have a single room. Unfortunately, it's not very common in the UK to have twin rooms. They will be single. It's not ensuite accommodation, as in bathroom. As you can imagine, these are centuries-old buildings, and back in the 1500s, they just didn't think to have ensuite bathrooms. So that's that situation. In terms of food, of course, so for breakfast, they will have a mixture of continental breakfast and hot options as well. And for the evening, there will always be two meat options and also a vegetarian option. And it will be 3 courses as well. So there will be sides and there will be a dessert available. The only thing I would say is for lunches, we found a few years ago, because legally students are allowed to, with their parents' permission, sign themselves out if they are 16 to 18, and they are allowed to go into town if that's what they want to do. A few years ago, this was happening so much that we decided to change the format, and for younger students, they eat on campus for lunch, but for older students, they go off into town and they purchase lunch themselves. So that is what I would say with that.
Wonderful. Even I want to come to this.
And
yeah. Yeah, and I'm checking the questions that what is the capacity remaining?
It depends on the date. So let me just stop sharing my screen. It does depend on the date. So the most popular date is the 10th of July. So yeah, and the most, I would say that Cambridge is for some reason slightly more popular than Oxford. I mean, from a Brit, I would say for me, I see them both very similarly, but you know, Cambridge is more popular basically.
Yeah. Perfect. And do you like have any questions like I'm asking the parents or the attendees? That would you like to ask any questions?
That's a good question. Do you know what I was going to ask you when you said I would love to attend myself? And this is putting you on the spot, so I'm sorry. If you attended an immerse program, which subject do you think you would choose?
Me?
Yeah.
I think like management can be
business. Okay, so business management. Okay, that's good. Do I have any questions for I think the only question I do have is we have had more interest from younger students this year. Not taking away from the older students, but we are finding that students younger than ever are thinking about university. So whether people want to speak up or just write in the comments, you know, if you agree with that, if you're finding that, you know, students, as I said, you know, 12, 13, 14 are thinking, right, let me plan ahead for university, which is new for us.
Yeah, actually, I believe that they're more passionate because they know what they want to do.
Yeah.
Because parents know that if they're not passionate about the subject, you can't make them study. It is so obvious that you can't push them. But if they're passionate about a subject, it is really wonderful because they're pushing the parents to go to camps, like finding the subject for them. So yeah, I believe that like in 2-3 years, the average age is going to be like younger and
and the other question I had is we're very good at immerse at making sure that the programs that we have are continually tweaked and perfected, and we are also always looking at other programs, other courses. So that's where film studies came in. We decided to, you know, consider a more creative option. So I'm always keen to get feedback on, you know, are there any subjects that we don't do that you know parents are thinking, or if they had a drama course, then I would be interested, or if they had a politics course, then they would be interested. So, you know, again, if you want to comment here, or if you wanted to feedback afterwards, then we would always welcome that.
I believe that performing arts is really like powerful nowadays. They're asking and they're looking for it, and the camps focusing on this area is limited. So I can offer you to organize and like performance arts. And the other one is actually you have already covered most of them, but the new area for the like creativity, maybe it can be like more and more powerful in the future. We'll see. I see that students are interested in UX, you know, graphic design. Maybe you can cover them like Bachelor of Arts topics.
Or like 3D art, or I've had quite a lot of feedback about drama as well, which I wasn't expecting, but yes, that's quite interesting.
It will be great. It will be perfect. So I think we have a question. Would it be difficult to get a visa for a youngster to participate in the camps from India?
So it is just a tourist visa that's required. So there shouldn't be there shouldn't be any sort of further restrictions in terms of, you know, a study visa or anything like that.
Yeah, and I think I would like to warn the parents that they should apply earlier than the other years, because this year is going to be very hectic, and to be able to apply the visa and like booking the plane tickets is going to be so intense. So what I offer them to do the booking now, really, and at the end of March can be the latest according to me, because you know the seats are going to be full, and on the other hand, to be able to organize the traveling, it's difficult. But for European ones, they are, and UK people, they're lucky. But if they're going to apply for visa, they should.
I can't stress that enough. I know several you know, the visa centers, due to COVID, maybe that's just an excuse, but they have fewer staff, and then they don't, you know, time to
recover,
to do the application basically. So yes, I would love people to enroll yesterday so that we are all organized for the summer.
Perfect. And we have another question: what course time zones are available for West Coast students in USA?
So if it's the academic insights, so that's residential, so that's fine. So the student obviously flies over, and you know, that's the time zone isn't a problem. If it's an online program, then if it's the research program, which is 1-to-1, then you set the time. So that's not a problem. You know, you might do I don't know, morning where you are, and then afternoon where the tutor is. So we can work around you basically.
So if it is 1-to-1, they're organizing, but
then
do you have the like online inside ones that as a group?
Yes, we do. So we have so where you see academic insights, we have replicated this for online. So we have, and I can share these dates with you, but we have ones for April and we have them for July. So for both of these online, we have 2 streams, we call it, either 9 a.m. start UK time or 2 p.m. start UK time. So obviously 2 p.m. for the West Coast would be perfect.
Yeah. And we have got another question. Can you talk more about parents' interest in political courses?
So yes, and also I did see another question that I just wanted to answer, because it's quite interesting. So someone said a course in creative thinking skills multimedia. Just to let everyone know, obviously I've given an overview of the subjects, but with each subject we do have syllabuses that go into finer detail about which areas of medicine we talk about, which areas of you know, biology we talk about. And within this we do teach things like critical thinking, you know, as we've said, creative skills, thinking skills, etc. I'm just trying to think of the other ones, but resilience, for example, again. So that is sort of incorporated into our programs and into our lessons. So if you have a child who is interested in you know, political courses, then definitely the international relations is a really interesting program. And I don't know if I can do it on here. I can try and share the syllabus, or I'll try and do it on here. I don't want to ruin it, but okay. So in our syllabus for international relations, this should be, you know, of interest to students, and it is a really great course. So the closest we would have to politics is international relations. And I will try and put the syllabus in here once I figured out how to do it on my on my computer. International relations. Okay, so I've just put a link here, and this is to a Google Drive, so anyone can go into it. Done. Okay, so if whoever wants to check that out, that's one of our syllabuses. That one's based on international relations, and that talks about the different topics.
Cool. So we have got another question
Yeah.
about, one-to-one course.
Yes.
How does the lab work part work on?
Yes. Okay. So if it's the research project, then this is purely based on research rather than the lab work. So if a student is doing academic insights and they're doing it in person, fantastic. The classes that we use at the universities are designed for that, and they have the equipment. If it's the research project, then this is more about online research rather than lab work. However, we do have online insights, which, as I said, we replicate academic insights. For this, if we're doing medicine, obviously we can't have it where students are dissecting something in their parents' kitchen. So so we have to be a bit more creative, and the students will do a lot more about theory-based working if it's online. And then for the practical-based learning, we will do things like essay writing skills, UCAS application skills, interview skills, and also like personal branding, because that is really important as you get older as they develop. Yes.
Thank you. And I think we covered the question of, would the 3,000 word essay be useful towards a student's college application in your experience? Definitely.
100%. So the only other thing that I would say on that is, in general, out of all of our programs, they receive a really good evaluation from the tutor, which does look really good on the uni application. But on the research program, they come out of it with the 3,000 word essay, which looks great on your application, an evaluation from the tutor, which looks good, and they can ask the tutor to be a reference for university. Yes, so obviously that's excellent as well.
Do they use the like reference or outcome course ladder for the application as well?
They do, they use it. It's just something else to strengthen their portfolio or student CV, as you would call it. So anything that they can do to stand out to admissions.
Perfect. Wonderful. A dream short course. I think you should turn into high school.
It's a lovely, they're lovely programs to
according to me, that like they can pick up everything from.
I know.
It is wonderful experience.
It is. And in summer I will be on campus, so I will be meeting your students or meeting your children, and I definitely want to nip my head in and sit in a couple of classes, because there are genuine subjects that I'm fascinated on. So definitely. And
punting with them.
Maybe the punting, and definitely seeing the guest speakers and stuff. It's an exciting program to be part of, definitely.
Exactly. So thank you very much, Carla. I think it was wonderful, and I really enjoyed while I listened your program, and congratulations, wonderful. It is waiting for us.
Thank you. And yes, anything that people think of afterwards, then obviously Burçin, just come to me, and we can try and help the students find the course that they want, that is required.
Thank you. Bye.
No worries. No, lovely to virtually meet everyone, and I hope you enjoyed it. Perfect. Cheerio. Bye.